Facebook. We're back. We were here just a second ago, but we had some delays.
Who are you?
I am Tara.
And I am her father, Barry.
I was actually going to say that in my intro.
Awesome.
Welcome to Whole Total Health. We are an educational company that likes to educate people about different things that are really good naturally for your health. So today we're going to be talking about CBD oil, and this is my father, Barry. He's actually an incredible presenter, teacher, educator, and so I asked him if he would come on and help me present this information, so thank you.
You're welcome. Glad to be here. This is an introduction. This is not going to delve into all things CBD, but we do want to cover much of the basics, the misunderstandings, the importance of CBD, the differences, kind of where it came from, also why it's important to get a good source of CBD oil and not just go to Walmart and grab something that just happens to have the same three letters C, B, and D in the name. So anyway, this is what this is about.
Right, and CBD is super popular right now, and there are lots of scams out there. There's lots of people trying to sell CBD oil for a fraction of the cost. Sometimes they even try and sell it as much as really good quality ones, and they do scam people. I know this firsthand. And so we want to make sure that we educate people so that you know and are knowledgeable, not just like, oh, I heard CBD is good for me, so I'm gonna go buy some down the road. So This is not a fad. It's actually becoming a real staple in various communities around the world. And in this class, you're gonna get to see why. So don't feel overwhelmed by all the scientific explanations that we're going to give you. You're going to get this over time. And we want people to feel empowered in their knowledge of CBD oil, and we want people to understand how they can utilize this oil to improve the quality of their life, okay? So I'm gonna do a disclaimer for us, and that is that we are not doctors, we are not scientists,
No.
Although we've both taken and learned lots of different information through science classes throughout the years. I'm not prescribing or advising against my knowledge or my experience. Everything that I am sharing is based on the knowledge that I've acquired through research and working with many individuals over the years. It is our hope that you too will gain this type of knowledge through research and experience. We always encourage people to read and research for themselves. So anything we share with you, we can back up with any resources that you need. We're happy to send them to you because we want people to be knowledgeable and educated themselves about their own health, and that way they can make better decisions when choosing the products that they use. So we're gonna meet you wherever you are personally. Some people know a lot about this subject, some people know nothing. And we will, when we meet you wherever you are, we're going to give you resources that can take you even further. We have like super scientific research that goes really, really deep. Some people like that, some people don't. But you do need to know the basics, okay? So we can help you with that as well, because we're very passionate about natural health remedies. They have improved the quality of our life a lot. So we are passionate about helping others do the same.
Yes.
So before we get started, we want to give other people the opportunity that are jumping on to share what they have experienced with CBD oil before, okay? So we would love for you to share in the comments. We may not be able to interact with you because we don't want this class to be elongated, especially because this class will be here later for us to tag people as they are asking questions about this. So leave your comments, share your experiences in the comments. We definitely will go back. You can share testimonies, whatever you want. We'll go back through them later. We'll be using this video for many months to come. So feel free to share that information, especially if it could be helpful to others. So I want to share really quickly my personal experience with CBD, and that is, I don't have a lot of experience myself, but I work with a lot of people in the health community, and we have seen unbelievable experiences with our CBD oil, which we're going to talk about. And so I've seen, I've heard, I've read, so I am talking about this information from personal people that I have seen experience this, okay? So it's not just like I heard from somebody else, but it's people that have used this product and they've actually experienced really good things with this product, and that's why we want to share it with you guys. So now we're gonna start with, what is CBD?
Okay, What is CBD? Let's start at the beginning. Again, this is a basic course, but let me just say something because there's a lot of confusion out there. So I'm going to continue to kind of harp on this a little bit, but I'm going to keep coming back to it. And first of all, CBD is not marijuana. They are both from the same plant, which is the cannabis or the hemp plant, but they are different varieties. Marijuana is produced when the hemp plant is grown without a male variety present. Okay, so in other words, it is the only grown with the female variety. There's not a male variety plant. Now, that seems like a small thing, but basically when the female plants are grown without the male influence, the resin that is produced, which is from like small hair-like appendages, I think are called trichomes. The resin that is produced when the all-female plants is full of THC. THC, which is tetrahydrocannabinol. Now, don't write that down because I will not have any way how to spell it for you. But that's the part of marijuana that cause the psychoactive mental changes in your brain. And actually, THC is a hallucinogen drug. It's not a downer, it's actually a hallucinogen. So the hallucinogen effects from marijuana are caused strictly by the THC. Now, what's the difference? CBD is a natural substance, but it is from another variety of hemp. It is produced when the hemp plant is grown with both the female and the male plant. It also produces these hair-like fibers, which contains a resin, but the resin is not full of THC. The resin is full of CBD oil with all the medicinal properties of the plant without the hallucinogen that goes along with it. So it does not contain the psychoactive drug of THC. Actually, it has a very, very trace amount. Now let me give you some examples, okay? Marijuana can have as much as 10 to 27% of THC in it. 27%, up to 27%. Very, very strong. Where in order for, in the CBD plant or the hemp plant that produces the CBD, there is less than 0.3% of THC. So it literally has no psychoactive or hallucinogen effects on your brain. But again, it has all of the medicinal purposes as well. Okay, so CBD is a natural substance and it comes from the hemp plant. Now let me give you a little bit of history about hemp, because hemp in itself is an incredibly versatile plant and has been a big part of history all over the world. So hemp actually originated in Asia and the Middle East probably thousands of years ago, but since then has spread worldwide. Now, it showed up in the United States all the way back in the 15th century. So in the 1600s, they started growing hemp. In fact, hemp was so important to the agriculture. Now remember, what was going on in the 1600s in the USA? 1600s in the USA was still controlled by England. I don't know if you know this. I'm a history buff. Sorry if I interject this. But back in the 1600s, King James Bible. Ever heard of that? King James was the king in England at the time. But America had such a natural resource for being able to grow hemp that King James made an edict because it was so powerful for making so many good things. And I'm not talking about the drug part of it, but I'm talking about things like ropes, fiber, construction, clothes. In fact, I read one place where they believe the first American flags were actually made out of hemp cloth. But anyway, it was so important to the England economy that every farmer in the United States was forced to farm a certain amount of their crop in hemp because it was incredibly useful, a very good industrial product. So that's how amazingly important hemp was, okay? So what changed though? What happened? In the 1920s, basically because of marijuana, there was a big negative media war that was waged on all varieties of hemp or all varieties of cannabis. Essentially what happened was they lumped all hemp with marijuana. All cannabis, whether it produced THC or not, was lumped in with the hemp. So because of this, eventually all cannabis received a federal government Schedule 1 rating. Now, I'm not trying to get deep in the woods here, and I'm not trying to get political, but basically what that means is when you get a Schedule 1 substance rating, it means that the category is substance has no real value, but has a very high potential for abuse or addiction. So what happened was, because of that powerful media blitz and because of the fear of marijuana, they lumped all cannabis, all hemp, in with all of marijuana as well. So literally, for the history from the 1920s to the 30s, all the way up to 2018, until hemp or cannabis, certain types of cannabis that produce CBD, was downgraded from Schedule 1 to a Schedule V substance, which simply means that it has benefits and it has very, very little abuse possibility or addictive possibility, so it's very low. So the FDA changed the category in order that they could start using the medicinal products and the medicinal purpose. But also, there is a huge push by some senators and even some actors to actually reindustrialize the growth of hemp for ropes, cloth, and very, very good industrial uses. But out of the no THC hemp is made our CBD oil. So finally in 2018, CBD dropped again. So literally months later, it went from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule V. Then from a Schedule V, it completely unscheduled the substance completely in the Farming Act of 2018. So this simply means this, that in the whole country, as long as it has a less than 0.3 of a THC level, in order to be able to produce CBD oil, then all through the United States, federally, there is no drug or law against cannabis that produces less than 0.3 of the CBD. Now, that doesn't mean that every state has adopted this, so you got to be careful in what state you're in. In fact, that's what we've been battling with as they're trying to roll out CBD, as some states still have old laws on the books controlling all hemp production. So, in fact, the military, you got to be careful if you're in the military. I think the military hasn't even released CBD or some of the other things that are produced by the low THC hemp to be able to use. So you just got to be careful. You got to know where you're living. You got to know your research. Anyway, that's a brief history. I hope that wasn't too long, but that's the brief history on hemp and marijuana and CBD.
No, and that's really good because we are very passionate about not only getting products into people's hands, but we want people to know what they are getting and why they're getting it. We want you to know the history of it. I think it's been far too long where people don't have a knowledge of the products they use. It's like, here's this, take it for a headache. Here's this, take it for this. And you have no idea what the side effects are. You have no idea what the possibilities are. And so we're very passionate about not only bringing you a product that we believe is the highest out there, but we also want to educate you so that you know that you can trust us, that we've done our research, and that we are bringing a product that really is of the best quality.
And so the bottom line, and I don't want to keep stepping over, but the bottom line is CBD, or all of the hemp and all of the cannabis oil, excuse me a second, all of the hemp and the cannabis for years out of fear has been lumped into all together, even though there's no danger with the cannabis that is producing CBD oil. However, on the flip side, you have people that have been pushing marijuana legalization that have basically cited examples that we used to grow hemp. Oh, we've had hemp and we've had, as though we've had marijuana. And we have, but we haven't grown marijuana for the marijuana growth all these years. So anyway, there's just that we believe in researching and knowing what your history is, knowing what the facts are, knowing what the medicinal purposes are. Anyway.
Okay, so we're gonna take a break and then we're gonna come back on, give us like 5 minutes. We are doing this in a series, so that way when people go back to watch it, they can watch it in little clips. So we're gonna come back on in a few minutes. If you wanna come back, we're going to learn about the endocannabinoid system, We're gonna learn about what is homeostasis and also about receptors and how this whole system works and why our bodies agree so much with CBD oil. So
All right,
come back
see you in a little bit.
in 5.